A day in Titanic's third class. There is a piece of paper folded inside your coat pocket. You have checked it so many times since leaving home that the crease has gone soft. The ink slightly smudged at the corners from the oils of your fingertips. On it, written in your cousin's handwriting, is an address, a street, a city, a country you have never seen. You are going there now, on the largest ship ever built, and you are somewhere in the middle of the North Atlantic Ocean, and outside the porthole, if you stand on the lower bunk and press your face close to the cold glass, there is nothing but gray water stretching out to the curve of the earth. It is the morning of April 11th, 1912, and you are third class on RMS Titanic. Your cabin sits deep in the belly of the ship on F deck, and the walls are pine, painted white, still carrying the faint chemical bite of fresh varnish. The floor is salmon pink linoleum, worn smooth already from foot traffic. There is a wash basin plumbed directly into the wall, cold water running on demand, and you turned the tap 3 times yesterday just to watch it happen. Because at home, this kind of thing did not happen. At home, water came from a well, or a pump, or someone else's river, and it came on your schedule, not on the ship's. There are 4 of you sharing this space. A broad Finnish man named Pekka, who married his wife Elin 3 months ago, and changed their tickets to Titanic at the last moment because someone told him it was newer, smoother, better, still clearly besotted with her in the way of very new husbands, handing her things before she asks. Then 2 brothers from County Clare, Seamus and Patrick, who boarded at Queenstown with 1 shared suitcase, a paper bag of soda bread their mother pressed on them at the dock, and enough nervous energy to power one of the boilers below your feet. Last night, the 4 of you spoke in fragments across 3 languages, laughing mostly, pointing at things. Remarkable how much you could say with your hands. Scotland Road is what the stewards call the long port corridor on E deck, wide enough for 2 people side by side, running the length of the ship like a main street, already churning with life at this hour. A Syrian woman from Lebanon shepherds 3 children ahead of her. A group of young Bulgarian men from the same village move in a tight cluster. A pair of young Armenian men who boarded at Cherbourg, wearing good suits slightly too large, as though borrowed for the occasion. You fall into the current of people heading toward the dining saloon, and notice again the thing that struck you first, the electric lights, not oil lamps, not candles, electric globes in caged fittings along the ceiling, casting everything in warm amber. They may burn all the way to New York. The dining saloon is on F deck, divided into 2 rooms, families and single women forward, single men aft. White Star Line rules, enforced with polite firmness. The tables are long and solid, each seating 22 people, and they are covered in actual linen, not oilcloth, not bare wood, linen. A steward in a white jacket appears at your shoulder. This still catches you off guard. You had read about it in the White Star Line's pamphlet. At meals, tables are properly laid and served by the ship's stewards, and thought it was advertising language. It is not advertising language. He pours your tea without being asked. Breakfast this morning is oatmeal with milk, fried tripe and onions, smoked herring, bread and butter, marmalade and coffee. Beside you, a Lebanese woman passes the marmalade with a smile and a word in Arabic you don't understand, but understand completely. Language fails constantly, and communication never stops. You eat slowly. You think, If your mother could see this tablecloth, after breakfast, you climb up through the plain oak staircases, no carved banisters, no ornamental ironwork, just clean, sensible wood, and up past E-deck until you push through a heavy door and the April air falls on you like cold water. The forward well deck opens in front of you, a broad expanse of teak planking with the bow of the ship rising ahead like a steel cliff. The wind is sharp and smells of salt and something else underneath, something clean and raw, the smell of deep ocean, water that has never touched a shore. You have never smelled it before this voyage. The Atlantic stretches in every direction, gray-green and vast, broken into long, slow swells that the ship cuts through without effort. You are moving at 21 knots. You cannot feel it. The ship does not pitch or roll. It simply proceeds, enormous and steady, as though the ocean is incidental to it, rather than the other way around. Somewhere above you, 4 decks up, behind glass and oak paneling, first-class passengers are taking their morning walk along private enclosed promenades. You cannot see them. They cannot see you. This is one of the great achievements of Titanic's design. The 3 classes have been woven into the same ship without ever needing to meet. You find you don't mind it this morning. This cold deck, this immense gray horizon, this is already more than you had yesterday. Around you, the well deck has begun to fill. Children first, always children first, racing out and spreading across the space like water finding level, shrieking at each other in Swedish, in Croatian, in the accented English of Irish country towns. Then the music starts. It comes from somewhere aft, a fiddle, a fast reel, the kind of tune that has been played at crossroads and kitchen tables for 300 years and knows exactly what it is doing to your feet. Seamus from Clare, it turns out, travels with a fiddle. Within minutes, a small crowd has formed, passengers clapping, a Danish man attempting to join in on a tin whistle with unearned confidence and great enthusiasm. Midday, the general room on C-deck, the social heart of third class. White enameled pine, teak chairs, a piano against one wall, daylight falling through portholes in long, pale bars across the floor. You have been given a writing kit, and you take it seriously. There is a lot to say. You begin with the address at the top, then sit for a moment looking at the blank paper, because the blank paper contains everything you haven't sent home yet. The boarding train, so early the platform lights were still on, your mother's face at the door, the weight of the single bag you were allowed to bring, and what you chose to put in it, and what you chose to leave behind. You write, "I am on the ship now. It is larger than I expected." That is not enough. You start again. Around you, others are doing the same. A Swedish man at the next table, his pen moving carefully and slowly, composing what looks like a very long letter. His expression is the same as yours, the concentration of someone trying to get something exactly right across a very great distance. These letters will be posted at New York. They will arrive home 2 or 3 weeks after you do. You write them anyway. It matters that someone knows where you are. Dinner is at noon, bouillon soup, then roast beef with brown gravy, boiled green beans, mashed potatoes, fresh bread, and stewed prunes with rice. Plain food, honest food, hot and plentiful, served by a man who refills your cup without being waved at. You are fairly certain this is the best meal you have eaten since Christmas. Beside you, Padraic eats with the systematic focus of a man who cannot quite believe the plate will not be taken away. The conversation at the table orbits a shared subject, America. A cousin in Boston who works at a factory, an uncle in Michigan with a farm, a contact, a letter, an address on a piece of paper. The dream has 1,000 specific addresses. Everyone's version is slightly different. Nobody's version involves failure. You eat your roast beef and think about the address in your pocket, soft at the fold, late afternoon. The poop deck at the ship's stern, the great curved hull sweeping below you to the waterline, while the wake stretches behind in a long white road that closes and disappears. Ireland is already further away than you can imagine. America is still further than that. You stand at the rail and feel the engines through your feet, that low, continuous thrumming, the heartbeat of 80,000 horsepower, driving 30,000 tons of steel through cold water. A child appears beside you, a boy of about 8, and looks out with the same grave attention. He points at something in the distance, a seabird maybe, already gone. You nod seriously, as if you saw it too. By evening, the general room has transformed without anyone quite deciding it would. The piano is found to be in tune. Seamus has his fiddle out again. The floor clears itself with the natural instinct of people who have been dancing since before they could walk. And within 20 minutes, the room is full of something that has no name in any of the 33 languages represented on these lower decks, though every one of them has a version of it. You dance badly and without apology. So does everyone else. Pekka, who has the build and demeanor of someone who fells large trees for a living, turns out to have an extraordinary lightness on his feet, spinning Elin through the crowd with a grin that takes 20 years off his face. A Lebanese grandfather dances alone near the wall with great dignity and precision. The Bulgarian potters form a line and do something coordinated and fast that draws a round of applause. The engines hum below. The Atlantic rolls gently past outside the portholes. The ship runs on through the dark at 21 knots, westward, carrying all of it, the music and the letters and the addresses in folded pockets, and the dreams too large to say aloud, toward a continent none of you have seen. Later, your bunk, the pine walls close around you, and the ship breathes its steady engine breath. Pekka and Elin are already asleep. Seamus is already snoring with the untroubled depth of someone who has done everything he intended to do today. You unfold the piece of paper, the address, the street, the city, the country. You fold it back. You put it in your coat pocket, hanging on the hook by the door. You close your eyes. The ship runs on. Outside, above the water line and above the boat deck, and above everything, the stars are out. Thousands of them, more than most people ever see in a lifetime, burning sharp and cold over the flat black water, making the night so clear that the two lookouts in the crow's nest, Frederick Fleet and Reginald Lee, have remarked to each other that they can see for miles. That visibility is perfect, that on a night like this, they would spot any obstacle long before it became a danger. It is Thursday, April 11th. You have no reason to doubt them, and somewhere in the deep dark ahead, 400 miles south of Newfoundland, the iceberg drifts south on a current it has ridden since Greenland, unhurried, certain, blue-white in the starlight, most of it invisible beneath the surface. But tonight, you don't know that. Tonight you are warm, and the address is in your pocket, and New York is 3 days away, and you sleep in the lull of the waves and moonlight on your face.